Hello everyone, this is Sani and you guys are watching Coding with Sani. Today we are going to start new tutorial series which is about the web application development, in which we will learn about basic HTML tags, then we will move toward the advanced HTML tags, CSS and advanced CSS, and in the end we are going to learn about the JavaScript. So before getting started, we are going to discuss the few things that how does internet work and how does web application work. Okay, so let's get started. So the first concept that we are going to discuss is just how does internet work. But before that, we should understand that what internet actually is. Internet is not some kind of cloud which is hanging into sky, but it is a network of computers which are connected to each other by a giant wire to share the information. Okay, so you might be sitting in Pakistan and the computer with which you want to talk might be in United Kingdom. So if they are connected on the internet, then you can share information from Pakistan to with the computer into United Kingdom. So the next question is, how does internet work? After opening your web browser, you try to open some URL into your website. Then your browser send that URL to your ISP. For example, you are trying to open google.com, then your browser will send that address to ISP, and ISP then requests for the IP address from the DNS, and DNS return us that IP address on which the website you are trying to open is being hosted. So the first thing that you need to understand that what is ISP and what does it mean by DNS. Okay, ISP or internet service provider is nothing but an organization or company to whom you pay for the internet services. When you pay to your ISP, in return they provide you internet services. DNS server, which is actually stand for the domain name servers, is the mechanism which have engineered developed to overcome the communication gap, which actually resolve the domain names to IP addresses of the server. It is like a phone book. When you request for a particular URL, it look for the IP address of that website and return you that IP address if that URL is exist on the domain name server. This mechanism was developed because the computers don't have the names just like in the real world, so they have numbers but you can't remember all the IP addresses. So a mechanism was developed by the engineer to solve this problem, so you don't need to remember the IP addresses of all the servers on which different websites are hosted. You just put your URL into web browser, then it send that request to ISP and ISP send that request to DNS, which returns you the IP address of that particular server on which your website is being hosted. Okay, after getting the IP address from the DNS, our browser sent request to that particular server of which we have got the IP address from the DNS. In return, that server sends us the three different type of files, which is HTML, CSS and JavaScript that opens into our browser. So what does it mean by this IP address? IP address is address that we use to connect with our online world. Okay, IP address is basically provided by the ISP or your router. If you don't have an IP address, then you can't connect to the online world. A server on which website is being hosted is a computer with a specific software installed on it. It actually listens requests from the client and respond to those requests. In order to get your computer connected with the whole world, you must have a server on which you can install your website. Otherwise, you won't be able to share information with the other computers. For a computer servers, it has to be open online all the time. Clients are the computer that is used to access the data and files from the server. So instead of completing this whole process, if you do have the IP address of a particular server or website, then you can simply put that IP address into your browser and your browser will open the website hosted on that particular server. Okay, now I'm going to perform a simple exercise in which I'm going to put the address of Google into our browser, and you will see that we don't need to perform the whole process of sending requests to ISP, then to DNS, and then get the IP from that. So if we directly put the IP of that particular website into our browser, it will directly open that into our browser. So let me open the browser. Okay, if I put the address 172 point, I already have opened the address as it is very hard to remember. So as you can see that it has opened the address of a Google website. So this is how the internet works. So now I'm going to quickly wrap up the video that what we have discussed in this video, in which this video which have basically discussed how does internet work, and then we discussed the what is ISP, DNS, what does it mean by IP address, then we have discussed the servers. If you have any query or question, you can ask in the comment box. So see you guys in the next video.